A new poll finds that just 12% of Americans support a Republican healthcare plan that would repeal and replace former President Barack Obama's signature domestic legislative achievement. The new bill that passed the House of Representatives without any Democrat support in May is currently struggling to find enough support in the Senate for passage. After a meeting at the White House yesterday, Senate Republicans postponed a vote that was expected before the July 4th recess amid concerns that some moderate and conservative Republicans would not support the legislation because they felt it either went too far or not far enough in changing policies enacted under the Obama Affordable Care Act.
The USA Today Suffolk University poll finds that 53% of Americans either want Congress to leave the law known as Obamacare alone or fix its problems while leaving the framework intact. The new bill would repeal major elements of the Affordable Care Act and shrink Medicaid government health care for the poor. A recent analysis by the nonpartisan Congressional Budget Office found that under the new bill, 22 million Americans would lose their insurance over the next decade, although it would reduce the federal deficit by $321 billion over the same period. Republicans enjoy a slim majority in the Senate with 52 seats and can only afford to lose 2 senators on a vote expected to get no Democratic support.
As you already know, we're continuing to work on reaching an agreement that will involve continuing the discussion to the end of the week, and we'll not be turning to the bill on the floor of the Senate until a couple of weeks after this week. But we made good progress. The President got an opportunity to hear from the various members who have concerns about market reforms and the Medicaid, the future of Medicaid and Medicaid expansion. So I think the meeting was very helpful. The one thing I would say is that I think everybody around the table is interested in getting to yes.
The passage of the draft bill would mark the first major legislative win for President Donald Trump as the repeal and replace agenda became a cornerstone of his election.
We're getting very close, but for the country, we have to have health care. And it can't be Obamacare, which is melting down. The other side is saying all sorts of things before they even knew what the bill was. This will be great if we get it done, and if we don't get it done, it's just going to be something that we're not going to like, and that's okay, and I understand that very well. But I think we have a chance to do something very, very important for the public, very, very important for the people of our country that we love.
Conservative Republicans want the bill to gut more of Obamacare's provisions, while their more moderate colleagues in the party don't want to leave millions without health care.
While 28 million people are uninsured, this bill will throw an additional 23 million people off of the health care they have, raising the total of uninsured in America to over 50 million people. This is literally beyond comprehension. It is unconscionable, and it must not be allowed to happen.
Stocks in the United States fell on the news of the postponement as investor concerns grew over the ability of this president to push through his agenda, particularly on tax reform. A win for the president would also shift the narrative away from continuing investigations into his election campaign ties to Russia, with a future vote on the healthcare repeal, at best, very unclear for now. Bryce-Pease, SABC News,